Today, I will be presenting on Proposition 58, California Education for Global Economy Initiative. So the purpose of Proposition 58, this is directly stated from the proposition on the ballot. It is to ensure that all children in California public schools receive the highest quality education, master the English language, and access high quality, innovative, and research-based language programs that prepare them to fully participate in a global economy. So in other words, school districts are authorized to establish language acquisition programs, and school districts also must solicit parent and community input in the process. So they're making this process more collaborative with the parents and school community, and they're also establishing a lot more programs that benefit ELL students or students that are bilingual. So background, this proposition was approved in November 2016. It's on the ballot, but it actually went into effect July 1st, 2017. It implemented the California Multilingual Act of 2016 and repealed the English-only provisions of Proposition 227. And it no longer required English-only education for English learners, which was really helpful to, as I said, ELL students. It doesn't come with additional funding, so this bill isn't meant to provide more funding. Rather, it's like a set of guidelines for schools and communities to follow. And this proposition is also known as the California ED.G.E. So the implications of the law: first, it gives public schools greater control over bilingual programs, which is really important because they're the ones working with the students. So it allows them to kind of have more flexibility in the programs that they create. Secondly, English language learners can enroll in language acquisition programs beyond the English immersion classes without their parents having to sign a waiver. So this just kind of gives more flexibility for ELL students to be immersed in other classes beyond just the one that they might be in. Also, there is no longer a 30-day English program placement for students who are first-time enrolled English learners. So this kind of gets more quickly, it allows them to be more quickly acclimated into a program to help them. Another, it allows parents and guidelines of students to choose a language acquisition program that they find works best for their child. So this is also an important step because it really gives parents a say in their kid's program, so they can kind of choose what they want for their child. The Local and Control Accountability Plan requires school districts to request input on effective and appropriate instructional methods. So this is important because, again, school districts can request input on the instructional methods that they choose for English language learners. So again, it just gives public schools more control. A Proposition 58 transition team was created, and they also work with school districts and school communities to develop guidelines. So this was just another step. They had a transition team that really helped kind of implement this with the school districts, and also they worked with the parents and school administrators and really the whole school community to develop guidelines that would work best for them. Parents can request a multilingual or biliteracy program if there are between 20 to 30 guardians, and the school must explore the idea of adding one to the best extent possible. So basically this says if there are enough parents in the class or in the school that request a biliteracy program or a multilingual program be implemented, the school has to explore the possibility of adding one. They have to look at all their resources, have to look if they can implement it at their school. So this is just helpful because if parents find that there is a need for a program like a multilingual one, the school has to explore the possibility of adding it. Lastly, the California Board of Education is in charge of approving certain regulations and guidelines for this proposition. So this just is kind of another step that the Board of Education has to approve these guidelines if they are implemented at the school. So the impact: it will make way for greater access to language programs for students of all language backgrounds. So it's important as teachers that we're aware that students may come from different language or cultural backgrounds. And so we want to make sure they have that access to any programs that are out there. So basically this proposition just allows for greater access of that. It will also provide more opportunities for parents of these students to have a greater impact over the environment your child is learning in. So again, it's really important that this is a collaborative process. We only have students from 8 to 3 or maybe a little bit longer, 5 days a week. Parents are also wanting to ensure their child is getting an education, and they're obviously a big part of their lives, and so are we. So this is just allows for a little bit more collaboration between us and them to make sure their child is receiving the best education possible. Yeah, so that's it. If you have any questions, feel free to type them in Google Classroom. and hopefully the rest of the assignments go great for you. Thank you.